What's good, Raider Nation? Welcome to the Spicy Shield Talk. Spicy Raider Girl here with Chris. And the Raiders have just officially announced their new GM, welcoming Tom Telesco to Raiders as the general manager. What's good, Raider Nation? It is official. The ink is dry. The Raiders have officially named former general manager of the Los Angeles Chargers, official GM of the Raiders. We heard this earlier today, as reported at first by Ian Rappaport of the NFL media. So we kind of knew that this was, well, we knew it was coming as of earlier today.
Right.
Official now, but I think to most of us, this is a little bit of an unexpected hire. Maybe a little bit of a surprise to most. The Chargers fired head coach Brandon Staley and Telesco, their GM, who was retired by the Raiders, the day after the Chargers lost to that now historical game against the Raiders, 63-12. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, too, because I actually think Telesco was a little bit of a, how do you say, when you're in the line of fire, but you're not supposed to get hit.
Oh, like yeah.
Casualty.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that a little bit later.
It was a little death by association.
Death by association. There you go. The Raiders had also had of course, interviewed their interim GM in Champ Kelly, Colts assistant GM, Ed Dodds, and each of these guys went through 2 or 3 rounds of interviews, and the process did drag a little bit. I think we were all expecting as fans for perhaps Antonio Pierce, and we were thinking Champ Kelly, or at least a GM, to be hired at the same time. Maybe there's a little stank on that, though, because we all know what happened with the McDaniels-Ziegler sort of like come as a pair, if you will, and that did not work so well. So maybe there was intent in having them separated. And also maybe they just needed a little more time to figure it out, right? And we're going to go into all of that later. What's up, everybody? Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. Of course, thanks for joining us. If you haven't already, light that torch, hit that like button, subscribe to both of our channels as well. Sonny Boyd, what's good? Fish and Game, what is good? Thanks for being here. Omar's going to be on a little bit later, so check that out. Angelo, what's good? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. Spicy, he says. Nice to see you as well. All the way from Hawaii. Aloha. Good. And Jay Jackson, of course. Good evening, Raider fam. New GM. Let's see where we go from here. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Juan Hernandez, what's good? Ana Diaz, always supporting us. Thank you. I look at it as a positive. She says he will have a chip on his shoulder and will bring prime players to give some paybacks. It will benefit the Raiders in the long run. And yeah, can I just say this? I know I'm going to say take a breath, Raider Nation. Maybe I should take a breath too, because I'm talking fast here as well. But take a breath. We've had some time to absorb this. I think the initial shock, if you want to call it that, or surprise, or the unexpected announcement of this, we've had some time to think about it. So we're going to go over what this man's resume is and why maybe we shouldn't be on such high alert, or maybe we were just attached in some way to Champ Kelly. So good points, Anna. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, let's get into some of this guy's resume and why he is a good choice for this. I'll start, Chris, and then I'll let you take it from there. You know, he's a veteran, if you will, at this point. You know, Champ Kelly doesn't have a lot of experience under his belt. With Tom, he does. So I think Mark Davis and the team out there in Vegas, you know, they wanted some experience. Okay, and I think that's why they went in this direction. I mean, he has developed some good teams, although it hasn't panned out great for the Chargers, but I think that's for other reasons. And he's been responsible for drafting some good players. So I think we give this guy the benefit of the doubt, because I think there is some doubt out there.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of doubt. I think, as Raider fans, we're just so used to just being so bad for so long. I mean, we have our ups and downs and highs and lows as fans, but I think this pick right here, again, like a lot of us weren't expecting it, but I don't think it's the worst pick in the world.
Right.
To be honest, Spice, just kind of, we were talking earlier, Mark Davis probably has a lot of PTSD from, giving these new guys a chance of being a GM. Because if you really think about it, his very first GM he ever hired was Reggie McKenzie. Ultimately, that was a bust. And then he goes to Mike Mayock. That was a bust. And then he goes to Ziegler. I mean, so he's really 0 for 3 for giving guys their very first chance of being a GM. So you can't be mad at a guy for saying, hey, I've already opened up my wallet. I had to get rid of coaches that were expensive. Let me get a guy who's been in this league, who's a veteran, who has been a GM, who knows how to be a GM. Give him a shot. And honestly, I think it's a good move. It's a smart move. When we look at what this guy has done, just the facts, he's built some good teams as far as the draft goes. And a lot of people don't realize probably the best player in the league that hasn't been drafted right now is Austin Eckler. He was an undrafted free agent. So they found him and got him on the team. He wasn't on no one else's radar, and he's one of the best backs in the league right now. That's stuff that we got to look at. Like a guy that can pick out talent like that goes a long way.
Yeah, let's look at some of the talent that he has drafted here. Because since 2013, there's some good names on this list.
Yeah.
Some of these players have been injury prone. Some of them have been traded, of course, and some of them are still, doing very well in the league. But there's some notable names here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, people like Melvin Gordon at the time. I mean, that was a great pick. I mean, he got injured. Denzel Perryman. We love Denzel Perryman, but again, he got injured. Joey Bosa's a dog. Hunter Henry, actually, he's still pretty good, but he's kind of moved around. Mike Williams, injury prone, but he was good. Derwin James is a dog. Justin Herbert's a dog. Asante Samuel Jr., he's getting there. Rashawn Slater's a dog. So those are good picks, man.
And you notice a lot of this. You said, the reason for maybe issues are really can go on the strength and conditioning coach and things of that nature, not necessarily on the man drafting them, because nobody can ever foresee injuries, especially like looking into a draft, unless there's something already there. So that those are little asterisks to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I know what we're all thinking. I think we all kind of most fans maybe fell in love and in lust and however you want to say it for Champ Kelly, because he came at the same time as Antonio Pierce as an interim. We thought we saw them as a package deal. So maybe he was we'll say a fan favorite, as you said. I think we were all kind of rooting for him. And he might come back. I mean, Champ Kelly is still under contract with the Raiders as their assistant GM. Maybe he gets that position back. There was a lot talked about Champ and Ed Dodds kind of having a dual role in this organization as some sort of, GM role. But we've never really talked about, Champ and Tom having sort of a dual role. So maybe this announcement is coming as well. Maybe he goes back to his position that he was in prior. And I think we spoke a lot about this back when Rich Bisaccia was the interim coach. Like, I think a lot of us would have liked to see, we didn't think he was maybe the right fit for the head coach, but we would have liked to see him slotted back into the coaching position he had prior to that interim tag. And this can happen for Chap. What do you blah, blah, blah. I can speak.
No, I mean, honestly, I mean, it's already written. I mean, he's already under contract as assistant GM. So it's not about he might come back. I mean, the only way he would leave is if he gets a general manager position somewhere else. So I mean, he's under contract. I think he's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure he still has, he wants to be a Raider, I'm sure, because at the end of the day, we created a position for Champ Kelly. You know, like when he first came in, we didn't give him the GM role, but we wanted to keep him in house so much that we created this role for him. It was, you know, there wasn't an assistant GM before. So Mark thinks highly of him. He just may not think he's ready. But then again, when he created the position, maybe he's a well-paid assistant GM where he's getting almost GM type money. I don't know. But unless he goes and gets a GM position, I think he'll be here.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. I'd like to see him stay, see him develop, and see what he can do, of course. Let's go into some of these comments here. What is up, Jason? He says Reggie was in cap hell that he had to fix, but got let go before he can do anything. And we're going to talk about a little bit about I think the conversation that's been going around with the cap in what was going on with the Chargers organization. Because I know that's been a hot topic ever since the announcement was made earlier today. What's good? The Raiders fans also drafted Keenan Allen. Thank you for that. Yeah. Elon Bush. Good evening, people. What do you miss? What did you miss? That's funny. Steampunk, thanks for joining us. Good evening to you as well. Drafted Tillery. All right. So yeah, we got some names here, but let's go into a little bit let's talk about the cap, because I hear I think the very first comment I read or heard when, this announcement, if you will, or the speculation, the soft announcement, I'll call it, came in was that Tom put the Chargers, $40 million over cap, I think it was, or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong on the number there, Chris.
Yeah, that's correct.
Let's go into who was really in charge of that. And that, of course, is the Spanos family. They're the owners of the Chargers, if you're not aware. This is the son, president of football operations. John Spanos was named president of football operations in 2015. And as you see here, he was in charge of functions of the team, including player personnel, coaching, and the underline in red here, player finance and the salary cap.
Yep.
So we can't necessarily hold that against Tom. And, I'm sure the Raiders knew this as well. I'm sure this was part of the conversation in the interview process.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, everyone knows kind of how that organization's ran. It's tough for, GMs to make moves when you got your sons in there, kind of, with their hand in the cookie jar. And a lot of people got to realize, like, salary cap, for one, the way I look at it, as someone that kind of pays attention to this stuff, any team that is really trying to make a real move to the Super Bowl, most teams only have a short window. And I think the Chargers kind of understood they had their little window where you got to go all in. And just like I was talking about on one of my other shows, the Rams are an example. They did it as well, where they went all in. But the thing is, the Rams actually won a Super Bowl and it worked. But the Chargers, they just so happened had a bad coach and he just couldn't get them over the hump. But if you just look at the roster that the Chargers have, there is very few teams in the NFL that have a roster that can compete with the Chargers on paper. If they had a coach, they would be a problem year in and year out.
Yeah.
So and as far as the salary cap goes, I mean, even like the Saints are still in salary cap hell from when Sean Payton was there, but that's because when you go all in to try to go to the Super Bowl, you're gonna bring in a Khalil Mack, or you're gonna bring in some of these big name guys because you're like, I'm not worried about the future. Our time is now. Let's get it. And that's just what happened.
Yeah, definitely. And let's go to some of these comments here. Angelo says, Chargers currently $40 million over the cap. As we're speaking of, team is going to look different next year. And if they hire Harbaugh, Ed Dodds might be hired with them next. And I just want to say, we talked about this at the beginning of the show. This is why I think that Tom Telesco was actually collateral damage in the firing of Staley. I think that they basically wanted to clean house, if you will. Nothing really against Telesco. It was more that they knew they wanted Staley out, and they knew they wanted whoever the new head coach was going to come in, create his own team, and get his own GM and bring, his own coaches in. And so that's why I don't think the Raiders, historic 63-point victory got him fired.
No.
I think it was collateral damage and saying, Staley, it's time for you to go, and we're going to clear the path for our new guy to come in and get in the guys that he wants.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of what happened to Reggie McKenzie, because once we fired Jack Del Rio, even though McKenzie stayed another year, but everyone knew he was a lame duck. Everyone knew that, it was just a matter of time till we got him out of there. We pretty much kept him there, because he already had scouts in place and all that stuff. But, at a point like that, when you get beat like that, and just that the owner was probably like, we're just going to blow this thing up from a front office standpoint, and he has to go too.
Yeah. So we're going to, let's see. Terry, hi everyone, tuning in all the way from England. Be rude to miss one, a spicy show. Oh, thank you. You're so polite over there in England. Thank you. The Raiders fans, we appreciate your comment. I like how y'all actually do some research. Well, we try here and there. Of course, a lot of our show is opinion based, but we want to bring you the facts, and then we give our opinion as we go, as we all have one. So we do appreciate that. All the way from England to Hawaii. Bills were all in as well and over the cap, so they're going to have to tighten that belt as well in 2024. Angelo says Raiders have $36 million in cap so far, but with some reconstruction and other cuts, we will have at least over 50 of cap room to get Jaden Johnson, CB, and others if needed. And I think that clearing Renfro out of the way can help here. What does Renfro clear out? 13 mil, something like that?
Something like that. I think it has to be like a post-June cut or something, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that helps. That brings that total up to, close to 50 million, something like that, which is what he say, which is what he's saying here without, mentioning any names.
Yeah.
What's up, Chris? What's good?
Australia. So we went from England to Hawaii to Australia. What's up, man?
We love it. We worldwide.
Worldwide. What's up, AR?
What's good? Scotty Waddy Raider 1. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, let's talk about it though. We did touch on a little bit. Let's talk about a little. I just want to touch on his resume. So this man has been in the league since his early 20s, starting as an intern with the Buffalo Bills. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty impressive. And he never looked back, right? Yep. So he's always been climbing since then. He went on to be an assistant, like a scouting assistant for the Carolina Panthers, an area scout for the Indianapolis Colts, director of player personnel for the Colts, and then the VP of football operation also for the Colts, before being the general manager for the Chargers from 2013 to 2023, that's a long time.
Yeah. I mean,
and we always say we want consistency on the Raiders, right? Maybe this is the consistency in the GM position. And he's still a pretty young man. I mean, he's only like 50, something like that.
Yeah.
So he has definitely some time left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's fine. Honestly, he's fine. He knows a lot of football. He has... I mean, because another thing, when you got these rookie GMs, they don't necessarily have relationships with other teams like that. This guy probably has relationships with all kinds of teams. That will help us move up and down in the draft. That's the kind of stuff that you want. You want somebody that can, be able to make calls to other guys in the league. Hey, are you interested in Hunter Renfro or whatever it may be? Or, hey, I know you're at pick 3. What's going to take to get down to pick 3? Oh, that's what you want? Come on, man. I don't want to pay that much. Let me give you, being able to just go to the negotiation table. I mean, I'm down to see what he can do.
Yeah. Angelo says, and I'm just putting the comments up. I don't know the exact numbers. We were speculating earlier, but he says Hunter Renfro clears $6 million in 2024 with the pre-June cut. So there's some numbers for you right there. That Raiders fan, I'm assuming Telesco had the best answer regarding the quarterback position in the interview than Kelly and Dodds.
That's what they've been saying.
Let's talk a little bit about, Chris, I guess the difference of relation between what would have been an Antonio Pierce, Champ Kelly, and an Antonio Pierce, Tom Telesco. Because I think here's probably what Mark Davis was thinking. Do I really want to have two basically rookies in these major positions? And two guys that are seemingly, from what we can tell, are friendly. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you need, I guess what I mean by that is maybe you need an outsider coming in to not just kind of be the yes man. We're both agree.
Checks and balances.
Yeah. Let me give you my perspective. Let me have this new open mind, and let me give you my 30 years of experience.
Yeah.
You know, on this side of the table, and 10 years this experience as a GM. So, you know, like you said, checks and balances. You've got, and I think we got what we wanted in AP, right? We wanted wanted AP more than Champ. So it's like, okay, there you have it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you know, it's always good to have a new perspective, you know, someone that's at the table, that someone else to bounce ideas off of. And again, you know, just like we said earlier, you know, we're at the point where, you know, we're more than likely going to get a rookie quarterback. You know, depending on who our offensive coordinator is, you know, sometimes it's hard to get a guy in there who's been a coordinator before. A lot of times you're promoting someone up. So you're talking about potentially, like, if we would have kept Champ Kelly, you know, we're talking about a rookie GM, a rookie head coach, a rookie offensive coordinator, potentially a rookie
quarterback.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and honestly, like I said, I mean, Mark may have PTSD. Like, man, the last time, I mean, every GM I've given has been a rookie, and none of them has worked out. So I'm not mad at it.
Well, you know, and we've talked about this, at least on our show over the years, about how pretty much the bad reputation that the Raiders have in drafting. They've had a lot of busts, and we all know that it's a crapshoot in the draft. Nothing's guaranteed, but it's been a lot more bust than positives. And I think if you're looking at Tom Telesco, from what I can see, there's actually been more positives than bust.
Like I said, I mean, anybody, I mean, you guys let me know on paper, you know, are there 5 more teams in the NFL on paper that has a better roster than the Chargers? I don't know if there are. I mean, of course, there's some teams that are better than the Chargers, but like, I don't think Kansas City has a better roster than the Chargers.
They have better.
You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, you give a good coach, you know, any of those good coaches to that Charger team, they might have a dynasty. They may have 3 championships. Who knows?
Well, speaking of, since you kind of expanded into the AFC West there, what are we looking at next season? I mean, going into this season, the AFC West was already going to be arguably the best, one of the best, if not the best division in the entire league. And I think that holds true going into next season. Now, we're looking at some competition, right? I mean, we didn't want Harbaugh. Harbaugh could potentially go to the Chargers, bringing his guys from Michigan with him. I think he'll do, including his son.
I'm not scared.
I ain't scared of Harbaugh. I know how you feel. I know how you feel, but he's a proven winner. But to that point, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you've got a great coach.
Yeah.
In that, you've got a great coach in Andy Reid, of course. You have the rookie coach in Antonio Pierce. What is this division kind of forming into for you, like looking like?
Oh, I mean, it's going to be, for one, it's going to be a very polished division with a lot of good football minds. I mean, you can't, you know, you got Andy Reid, who's, you know, probably by far the best coach right now. You know, Sean Payton. I tend to think he's a little overrated, but he's still a great coach. And then Harbaugh, you know, he's proven to be a great coach as well. You know, and honestly, on paper and based on experience, you know, we definitely have the least proven coach. But the thing is, I don't think none of those coaches impact their players the way that ours does. So it's going to be a war. You know, at the end of the day, the next decade of the AFC West is going to be a war, and I'm here for it.
Well, I think Andy Reid impacts his players he impacts them in a different
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Well, he impacts. I mean, he doesn't have that same vibe, but I think he definitely impacts them. I think the players respect him. I think players like to play for him, and things of that nature. He just goes about it a very different way. He's a different demeanor. You know, the whole thing.
No, absolutely. Yeah, with Andy, it's like, you know, when you're so successful. I mean, even Belichick kind of had that a little bit. Like when you're so successful, people already buy in. You know, like people don't have to buy into Andy Reid, but you know, AP, people's gonna have to continue to buy in, but people already love him. So that's that it factor.
Okay, let's see what else we got here in the comments. I'm going up a little bit because I know there's a lot of great comments coming through. We'll see what Scotty Waddy Raider 1 has to say. The difference between Champ and Telesco could be the difference between getting Field and Daniels. Oh, that's an interesting comment. Are you saying, Scotty, that you think Telesco means going for Field and Champ meant going for Daniels? Is that how I'm reading into this? What do you think, Chris?
And
we'll let him clarify.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I know. I'm not sure because I'm not sure where Telesco will be leaning from a quarterback standpoint. Where people are saying that Champ so happened didn't want to draft a quarterback. But I don't know how they would know, and I don't know what the report was. Mm-hmm. And then I think they're saying that where with AP and Champ may try to go get Justin Fields since he's the one that was a part of the team that drafted him. I'm not sure. That might be what he means, but I'll let him clarify.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think anyone disagrees that the Raiders most certainly need a quarterback. I think probably the disagreement comes is who, and is there a rookie draft pick needed as well as a bridge, or is it one or the other? I think that's more of like the overall conversation, and we've talked about that extensively. Oh, I can speak today. Scotty Waddy Sater said, "Yeah, Raider one." Wow, I'm not even drinking today. That's the problem. Where's my drink? I slur more when I'm not drinking. What's going on here? Anyway, Scotty Waddy Raider 1 says yes. What Chris said. Okay, so I guess we are understanding what you're saying there. Raider Travis, Scotty won't be as big of a loss if we can, but I thought that his contract was through 2024 season guaranteed. Are we talking about now?
No, I think
Jimmy G. Is this it?
I think they're talking about Jimmy G. I believe.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think, like I said, breathe, Raider Nation, breathe. Because I think with the comments that I was reading when it first came out, people were like,
losing their mind.
Mark Davis messed up again. We want Champ. He's $40 million over cap. Everything negative. Yeah. But then when you take a breath and you look back at his resume, at his experience, I think it is a good pick, a good choice, a good hire. And look, we got the vibe of the locker room. Every personnel person doesn't need to be the hoorah guy. Doesn't need to be like the guy in the locker room smoking the cigars with the guy. You know, they're like, this guy's the suit, right?
Yeah.
This guy's the suit. And the suit's needed. The suits needed to stand back, make those type of decisions, think logically, and then we could have also our hoorah guy. He makes the decisions on the field. And I think it's a good yin and yang.
Yeah. And plus, like I said, we truly don't know what Champ Kelly's role is going to be.
Right.
You know, maybe this guy is more on just kind of like high level stuff. Champ may focus on, you know, scouting in the draft, whereas he might focus on, you know, how can we get better with other players that's in the league? Like how can I work work the room with other teams and negotiate and stuff like that with veterans. So I don't know. We don't know how it's redlined, but you know, it's we'll see. We'll see.
Well, while we're here, let's get into some tea. Khalil Mack liked the post of GM. What side are you reading that on? Are you reading on the side of let me go with him, or are you reading on the side of I'm glad he's gone?
Well, I mean, he's the one that went and got Mac. Who knows? Mac and Max. Ooh.
Mac is back.
That could get nasty. I do like my boy Malcolm Kuntz, but Mac and Max will be nasty.
I like Kuntz too.
Yeah, but
Can we find a place for all of them?
Yeah, we could return to the Mac. Who knows?
Return to the Mac? Question mark. Ooh, people are good. This is good. This was controversial. I feel like this is controversial right here. It's a controversial topic. No,
I don't think so. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of the Raider Nation would love to have Mac back. And honestly, I think at this point in Mac's career, he'd probably take a pay cut to play with Max. Because I mean, he probably loved playing with Bosa, but Bosa's always hurt. Imagine being a veteran and playing with Max. You're never getting double teamed anymore.
And back where you started.
Oh man, that could
I love it
because we would love him. The fan base.
I never wanted him to leave. To me, I'm on the side of I'll take him back, and I never wanted him to leave. I was a little offended when he left, to be honest. Yeah. But I know a lot of people were happy to see him go. Thought he wasn't performing. Blah blah blah. But hey, I'm not mad at this.
That could get nasty.
I mean, there were a lot of rumors about Khalil being dissatisfied what was going on over there in that organization, and there were wild rumors that I don't even think could possibly be true, but that he's supposedly told the coach after that blowout not even get on the team plane. I don't know how he was finding his way from Vegas to LA, but Khalil apparently didn't care.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, I mean, he probably he sees that ship sinking, and like I said, players don't understand. Like, and that's why I was so pissed about people saying, "Oh, if Max Crosby doesn't want to be here, just let him go." Like, people understand when you have superstars like that, other superstars want to play with you. You know, so Mac, I guarantee he would take a pay cut to play with Max Crosby and to come home. Imagine him in that 5'2" again. Whew. I
like it. Jack Hanna for you. He said, I missed it. Give me the short answer on Tom T as GM. The very short answer is we're here for it.
Yeah, we're here, and we'll be patient. I think that's a good word for it, patience. We'll see what happens, but we're okay.
Well, I think we're going to need patience all across the board, right? I said this with the hiring of AP. I don't think this is a quick fix. I still see the Raiders coming in and around 500. It could really be a game either way, game or two either way. But this is going to take some time. This is going to take some time to build. That's why we call it building. It's not a rebuild. We're still building.
Right.
Better than a rebuild, but still building. But building takes time. I think it's going to be give this new coach and this new GM 2 years. Yeah. I say give them 2 years to really make some moves. I know we're all tired of waiting, but this is not going to happen overnight. There are some pieces that are needed. So to your point, Chris, be patient.
Absolutely. Good comments in there, though. Good comments.
Yeah. Let's get to some of these. Terrence, what's good? Salute, Miss Spicy and Chap and Chris. What's good? AC Raider Nation. I'm sick of people talking about Kingsbury when he hasn't even been scheduled to interview. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's all about these reports. It's all these little phantom reports, and then people run with them. That's why I hate this time of year. People just run with these reports.
Yeah, well, there's when there's not a lot to talk about, people want clickbait and things to talk about.
Exactly.
It is what it is. But sometimes you just got to block out the noise. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Easy Box. One of Telesco's biggest decisions and philosophy on how to handle Josh Jacobs' salary will be interesting. I wouldn't pay him $10 million. That it will be interesting how he deals with that. I don't know. I think he's worth $10 million. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm okay with 10 mil. I know people, and again, I don't want to. A lot of people, they want to pinch over 1 or 2 million. I mean, if it takes 10 million to keep Josh here, I'll do it. But I think he would take whatever to stay with AP. To be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Let's see what else we got in here. Zach Robinson is my number one for OC. Yeah, Chris likes it.
I do. Yeah, I'm down with Zach Robinson. Because again, like I said,
he wants to hold him hostage.
Huh?
He wants
visit him tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow. Don't let him leave the building.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I think Yeah, he again, but he would be a a rookie offensive coordinator. So that's more of the reason to try to get as many vets around as possible. Like I know we got Marvin Lewis and stuff like that, but yeah, I'm down with Zach.
I think to our point earlier, it's lying season. We'll call it
It is.
season.
It is. The closer we get to the draft, the more lies we'll hear.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. Jeffrey Telesco didn't handle the cap in LA either, as we talked about. The Spanos family did. In particular, the son handled the situation out there. Absolutely. And excuse me, on a side note, nobody likes, I should say nobody, the Spanos family from Chargers fans' point of view, they aren't very heavily liked or respected.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah. They know they're cheap. Yeah, I mean, they don't like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know any fans. I mean, I barely know any fans anyway. But the few that I do like say our owner sucks.
Yeah, their owner sucks. As our own, I know what you're saying. Yeah. And I just heard this today. I did not know this before. But speaking of the Spanos family being cheap, that he doesn't want to pay a coach more than $15 million a season. So if you're trying to recruit a Harbaugh, how does that number align?
15 mil season is a lot, though. I mean, considering we gave Gruden 10, so 15. I don't think he'd pay 15 mil for a coach.
You don't think Harbaugh's gonna want to rake it in?
15 mil is a lot. I don't know about that. 15 mil is a lot, but I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know what Stanley was making. But I know to get Harbaugh, you're gonna have to pay because Michigan already dropped the bag on the desk. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be cheap for real.
That's what I'm saying. That's what exactly right. Is it time to stop being cheap? If that's who they want, but who cares who they want? We just want to beat them
for sure.
What's up, Robert Pena? Thanks for joining us. He said, "What's good? Nice to see you in here." Oh, okay. Let's see. The Spanos are big in my hometown of Stockton. That's interesting. What's the correlation there? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Angela says, best chance for us to trade up for a QB will be with Arizona at 4. Trading up to the Patriots and Washington will cost too much. What do you think of that, Chris?
I mean, I think it's going to cost a lot regardless because there's a lot of quarterback needy teams, and those teams know that. So I think no matter what, it's going to be expensive.
Where do you think the Raiders really need to? What position do you think the Raiders really need to trade up to in order to get their guy, whoever their guy is?
Yeah, it depends on who their guy is. I mean, a lot of people want to say that Jaden Daniels, and we'll have to get to 3 to get him.
You think he's still around at 3 or think not 2?
No, I think Caleb and Drake May will be 1 and 2.
Okay.
The only way is if something shakes up and Marvin Harrison Jr. gets taken. So like if the Bears decide to keep Fields and take Marvin Harrison, which I don't even think they would do that. I think because they can get so much draft capital by trading the number 1 pick. So I don't know. It's gonna be tough, but I think at least pick 3 though.
Okay. All right. This is interesting. So the Spanos family lives in Stockton. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I don't. Yeah, it seems interesting.
Where's Stockton at compared to like LA?
It's like in the valley of Northern California.
Oh, okay.
So maybe an hour and a half east of San Francisco.
Okay, that must be where like they're originally from or something.
It seems like an odd choice if you're from either San Diego or LA, but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
All right. So Scotty Waddy Raider 1 says, I know Daniels isn't the right complexion to make the connection, but I'm hoping he will do what Manning did when he got drafted and say he wants to be a Raider. I think he's already said that. Hasn't he pretty much said that?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he shouted out AP from the beginning. At his Heisman Trophy, that's what he said. So I think, to be honest, I think he wants to be a Raider.
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually heard him say those exact words or tweeted or anything. But yeah, to your point there, Chris, and then him being at the game, the last Raiders game, I think on the sidelines as well, right? At the last Raiders game. I mean, to me, those are telltale signs that he wants to be there. I mean, he wants to be there because he's there already. He's wanting to be there in another sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree 1,000%.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Northern California. There you go. Sacramento, Modesto, Stockton. All y'all.
Yeah, where's everybody from in the chat? Where everybody from?
Oh, shoot. Late to show. Well, we're just recapping the hiring, of course, of Tom Telesco. We are here for it. We think it's a good decision, and we hope Champ stays on in his position as assistant GM. And we think he's a good yin and yang to Antonio Pierce hiring. So there are the cliff notes. We got we got Lodi in the house. What's good? Also Northern California, I would say. San Antonio, PA, Nevada City.
Okay.
So we got we got Fresno in the house. All right. We got some random guy out in Columbus, Ohio. I'm just kidding.
Like, who's that random dude?
Who's that guy? Sacktail, what's good? Terry King, Sacktail 916. Vegas in the house.
Ooh, we got the Bronson here. BX stand up.
Go Wood.
Okay.
Hey, more Stockton. Okay. We got Missouri.
Okay. Show me state.
There we go. Albuquerque, New Mexico, New York. All right. We all over we checked every state.
Love it. Love it.
All right. That Raiders fan said the press conference will take place tomorrow. I'm excited about that. What do you expect from this press conference, Chris?
You know, I think, to be honest, I think it'll give us a chance to, for one, see his personality, but I think he's going to try to say the right things to ease Raider fans, you know, the ones that probably are believing the whole narrative about the cap and all that stuff. I guarantee he'll say the right things. You know, he's savvy enough to be in the industry for all this time. He won't come out there and say nothing stupid, at least. So
no, I don't think he'll say anything stupid. Do you think we still get like the hoorah guy that we got from that very first conference where he was announced interim, or do you think we get kind of a more business-like approach to this press conference, or do you think we still get in the Raiders and the whole pomp and circumstance type of thing?
Well, you know, because I imagine, because it's a press conference going to have both of them, going to have AP and Tom. If so, then it'll be a little bit of both. It'll probably start off with AP. They'll probably do AP first, and then Tom. So, you know, AP is going to steal the show. He'll have his little quotes and one-liners and stuff like that. And I think Tom will be more, you know, just to the point.
He's a suit.
Yeah. He's a suit.
I hope they keep their swag, actually, or I hope he keeps his swag, and I hope they stay true to who they are. Not one trying to be the other. Not like trying. I don't think they'll try to be the other, but keep their own energy. I'll say I hope they keep their own energy. I want to see AP come out dressed like he do. Sue can come out dressed like he do.
Yeah, and be you, baby.
Yeah. Just I'm here for it. Yeah, and yes, Mother Moon says, now that we've checked every state, let's get some more subs. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you haven't already, light that torch, hit that like button, and subscribe to both channels. Let's do a swap right here, right now. If you're watching over on 4Life, our Raiders story, before you go, light that torch, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, pop over to the Protect the Shield podcast. I almost said the Spicy Shield talk, but we're already there. And if you're over there at Protect the Shield, make sure if you're not sub, light that torch, hit that like button on his channel, then pop over to 4Life Our Raiders story and sub and subscribe and like and all the stuff. Please do. We appreciate all of your support.
Dyson, first time viewer. Thank you for coming through, my friend. Make sure you go to both channels.
Thank you for the support. First time getting a recommendation for this channel. Thank you so much. We got a new sub. We appreciate you. And thank you to whoever recommended for him to come check us out. Jack Hanna says, the nice thing is Champ Kelly is under contract. Exactly. If another team signs him as GM, the Raiders get 2 times.
I forgot about that.
Rounders. Okay, that could see that plays huge.
I forgot about that. So it's almost a win-win. I forgot about that. We'll get draft comp. So I think I'd rather keep them, but I don't know. Them third round picks. I don't know.
You can get some good guys in the 3rd round, and the GM could be licking his chops to get some extra picks.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess time will tell. But I think soon. I mean, I think they've got to figure it out fairly soon, right?
For sure. Got another new subscriber, man. Appreciate it, guys. We really do. You guys understand how much this means to us, man. Thank you, guys.
Yes, we enjoy doing it, but we want to make sure that you're happy with the content that we're giving you. So thank you so much for the compliments. Thank you for the support, and thank you for the subs. We appreciate you. And yes, hopefully you subscribe to both. Yes, new subscriber here. Respect to all the Raiders creators. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. J.A. Is it J.A. or Ja?
I call him Ja Raider.
Ja Raider. Okay. I support a report. AP was there when they hired Tom. He was cool with the hire. Well, yeah, you got to be cool, man. You got to start out cool for sure. Are we going to see Tom cruising around on the 6'4", though?
That'd be sweet, though, in a suit.
Right?
He's probably holding on for dear life.
Oh my gosh. It'll be like training day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be nice. That'd be fire.
Like training day. You got AP, yeah. Then you got Tom over there in his suit, like little Ethan Hawke and Denzel Washington.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
I'm here for that. That Raiders fan, Kelly had one other interview besides us with Carolina. The Panthers just hired a GM, former player Dan Morgan. All right, thanks for the insight. And like I said, when it took a little time, I think an additional week for the Raiders to make this decision. And when we heard a 3rd name go into the ring and a 2nd or 3rd round of interviews, we kind of knew that maybe Champ was a little, questionable, I feel.
Yeah, it seems like, they would always want to announce the GM first. So the fact that they kind of waited. But then I got, I was happy because Champ was in the head coach interview. So I knew he was at least part of the process. So I don't know. We'll see.
My speculation was, and this is totally speculation, that the Raiders were trying to avoid another McDaniels Ziegler type press conference announcement, photo shoot even.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You know what I mean? Photo op, if you will. And so that's kind of what I thought. I thought, okay, they're going to go with Champ, but they're avoiding this same sort of spectacle, if you will, that they had last time.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're right there with you. I'm excited. Oh, actually, I want to talk about this. Can't wait to see who the OC is. Not this exactly, but I want to know now, where does Pat Graham stand in all of this? Does he go looking for a head coach position somewhere? We know that the Raiders have denied him to interview for DC positions, but they've allowed him to interview for head coach positions. What do you think? Did you think this decision, this kind of unexpected decision, weighs on Pat Graham's future with the Raiders at all?
No, I don't think so. I think ultimately, they probably had a conversation. I think that was probably part of the conversation is, hey, what's your defensive philosophy or whatever? Well, I guess he probably don't even have a philosophy. It's probably just more or less like, are you able to get the type of players that Patrick Graham wants and stuff like that? But I really don't think Patrick Graham is going anywhere this year. However, I think that we'll probably have to be worried about next year. If he has another good year, I think he'll be hired next year. Me personally, I don't think he's done enough to be a head coach.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us wanted him fired last year, and it's like all of a sudden, he has, a good 3/4 of a year. And it's not even like, he made a a big jump, but it's not like we have.
But don't we want improvement? And I think we should celebrate improvement.
We're celebrating it.
We should award improvement. And I think my main sell on him is when I hear the leader of not only the defense, but the leader of the Raiders and Max Crosby.
Oh, they love him.
Speak about how they want to keep not only him, but the Robs, I'll call them. They want to keep that core together. They want to build upon that. To me, that's enough said.
Yeah.
If Mad Max is saying, hey, we've improved as a defense, we've done it under these guys, I don't want to rebuild and I want to keep them as our coach.
Oh, yeah. No, he won't go anywhere.
Why are we talking about it? Not you and I, but in general.
No, he won't go anywhere. I think the only way he would go is if he gets a head coach job, and we can't blame him. Like, absolutely, I'd salute him. Like, hey, you did great here, but if you can get a head coach job, go get your goal. I'm sure that's everyone's goal that when you get into coaching. So, but yeah, if we have the opportunity to keep him, we will. That's not even a question.
Yeah, let's read some comments here. Settle down, Travis. Settle down. Can we skip the rest of the year and skip on to the home opener? Travis wants to go from January to September.
Let's at least get to the draft first, Travis. Settle down.
Yeah, right. Maybe the combine, then the draft.
Yeah. Let us enjoy the process.
Yeah, exactly. We should sit back and enjoy the process. That's great. I think that's a good point too, because as Raiders fans, we really haven't had that opportunity. I think this offseason, we're obviously disappointed that they didn't have a winning season, but we're excited about the moves that they're making. Usually, we're disappointed about a losing season, and we're angry or sad or whatever word you want to use about what happens in the offseason with all the offseason drama, if you will. Things are moving up. Hopefully, things are moving up. Let's keep it that way. Let's see. Eddie says Patrick will only leave if he gets a head coaching job with the Seahawks.
I mean, yeah, that's
to the Seahawks.
I think that's the only team that's kind of take him seriously, because I think he had 2 interviews there, and he probably interviews well. I mean, where did he graduated from Yale or something, like wherever he went? So he probably a good interviewer.
Daniel says, for so many years we've been wanting a good defense, and we finally have one.
And they're gonna keep getting better.
Agree, and keep getting better. Keep them together and keep getting better. Angela says Patrick Graham will also cost less than Dan Quinn to go to the head coach in Seattle, but we don't. Listen, I think just because of Mad Max. Whoever Mad Max says goes. Okay. Everyone's all nobody listen to him.
Right.
Yeah, we're all wondering this too. Are there any names you want to throw out there? Wonder who will be hired as the O-line coach. There's been some names floating around.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It really just depends on what offensive coordinator we get, because I have to learn what kind of system we're going to do. If it's someone that wants the zone or somebody that wants who prefers a power scheme. So it really just depends. So it's hard to say now without knowing the coach.
Oh, this is an interesting question, because I actually hadn't really considered this, because I was all in for trading up for a QB. He says, what to do if we don't trade up to get a QB? I think if that doesn't happen, which it should happen, I guess you just sit back and wait for a corner, some defensive help.
See,
someone in that realm.
So I hate when people ask me questions, because I always gotta take it a couple steps back. So the short answer, I would say, well, I guess I can't give a short answer, so sorry. But it depends on our quarterback. So, if we get a veteran, then we probably got to get some O-line help, to be quite honest. So I wouldn't mind, maybe trying to get one of the best linemen there, maybe a defensive tackle. I don't know. There's some holes we can fix. So it depends, man. It depends.
There you go. And we appreciate you, Anna. She has switched. She started off on maybe my channel, switched over to yours, or vice versa.
Doesn't matter.
Thanks for giving love to both channels. We appreciate you. Let's see what else we have here. Rick says, any coaching staff that leaves under contract and moves up in position, Raiders get 3rd round picks. That could be enticing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But you need these guys. You need these guys. I mean, picks are great, but picks are a bust. If something's working, which so far, the defense is working, especially the latter half of the season.
Yeah.
To me, you keep it together. Jeffrey says the biggest problem with trading up is I don't see any of the top 3 teams wanting to trade with us. What do you think about that, Chris?
I don't think it's wanting. I think it's just going to be expensive. But I mean, I think if the price is right, anything can happen. With Champ Kelly being, having, from what I understand, a good relationship with that Bears organization. It may not be too hard to go up if we want to pick number 1.
Yeah. Raider Paul says, don't mess with the defense. Keep it the same. Just need to add another linebacker. Go all offense. Get a QB, then build the offensive line. I'm with it.
For sure.
I'm with it. I'm right there with you, Raider Paul. Aw, is Bugger watching? Hi, Bugger. A.K.A. Julian, A.K.A. Little Chucky.
Little Chucky.
We love you. Love Champ Kelly and Patrick Graham. Yeah, something's to be said. We're going to wrap here soon. So something I think is said for fan favorites, players' favorites, and keeping those kind of guys around. I think that speaks volumes. We like the culture. The guys like the culture. They brought the locker room back together. I believe Champ was part of that. Pat for sure was part of that. What do you think for, say, those, not reasons alone, but those being high reasons on the list to say, hey, let's keep these guys?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to. It's all about morale, camaraderie. Like, honestly, I'm excited. Like, once these guys start getting back from vacation, because, most of them taking vacations now, but I guarantee these guys are going to work out with each other in the off season, stuff that we know they didn't do under McDaniels. I guarantee more people's going to be in the facility during the off season, during doing those workout programs. So I just think that team's going to bond together, and it's going to be something special.
Yeah, I like it. Let's leave it on that. It's going to be something special.
Something special.
All right, Raider Nation. If you haven't already, light that torch, hit that like button, subscribe to both of these channels. We appreciate all of you for watching. And we go out one way and only one way.
Raiders.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the Spicy Shield Talk.